Hello, what's going on? A day after reaction from me after Bristol City won, Fulham won at Ashton Gate. A good trip down to the West Country. Ultimately, though, disappointing one. Not the 3 points that Fulham needed to get back to winning ways in the Championship. And 3 out of the 4 last games have been without a win for Fulham. I think any talk of HMS pissed the league, and I think people that were saying that, ourselves included, were being a little bit tongue-in-cheek. I think we all knew we weren't going to go through an entire season undefeated, but continuing the analogy, I wouldn't say the ship's hit the rocks, but it's certainly treading on dangerous water. The romp through the Championship has been well and truly curtailed, and yeah, it's another really disappointing one, and another game where I just cannot understand how Fulham have got the result that we did. I thought we played pretty well in most parts yesterday. I thought the first half was a little bit lackluster. I think the Onuma-Chalobah partnership in the middle of the park didn't quite work yesterday for me. There just didn't feel to be enough creative impetus in the team. There wasn't much direction going forward, and the second half changes from Silva worked their magic. Harrison Reed and Neeskens Cabano both coming on, Decadova Reed going a little bit more central, really frightened Bristol, and the fact that we took the lead just 5 minutes into the second half, I think was clear proof that Silva's substitutions paid massive dividends. There'd been a few chances before that, and then lovely cross from Neeskens, good brave header from Harry Wilson at the back post. Not the first time he's done that this season. Did it against Stoke as well, and Mitro was there on the line. Lovely celebration as well. Loved how they went towards Reece Porter on the line. That was a real nice touch to celebrate with him, and I'm sure if you're on Twitter, you'll have seen all about Reece and how he's overcome the bullies just in the most positive way, and credit to the club, and particularly Tim Ream, how they've handled that whole situation and really turned a negative into something extraordinarily positive. Absolutely beautiful to see. And from then on, this is my point where I think Fulham lost the game. Yes, there were chances in stoppage time, might come on to those, and obviously there was the goal from Bristol City, but it was this point at 1-0 where we just didn't take our chances. And you make that 2-0 against a side that hasn't won at home since January, and that's curtains. Bristol were never ever going to come back from 2-0 down, but at 1-0 it always gave them a chance. And there was this weird 5-minute period where they did score, where Fulham's defence looked shaky, looked under pressure, and was sitting pretty deep, and we saw the goal that happened. Fair play. How Casey Palmer has managed to score that from that angle, I will never understand. It's eye of a needle stuff. So, look, it's a great finish. I think we've all seen that it's so far offside. It's so far offside. If that was in the Premier League, and look, everyone hates on VAR and all the tiny marginal lines. This wasn't marginal. This wasn't a toe offside. This was 3 or 4 Bristol players pretty far offside. I'll give the linesman a bit of leeway that didn't instantly see it myself in the ground and only saw it with a replay, and I can see how that attacking phase of play and the way that those players kind of responded to the rebound, it would have been a difficult call to make, but it's not an impossible call, and an experienced linesman should spot it. But that's why the Premier League has VAR and has VAR for offsides. It's supposed to be for clear and obvious errors like that, and sadly, we're in the Championship. This is what we deal with. I'm certain that 1 or 2 times this season, with the amount of goals that Fulham should score, we'll get an offside decision go our way, more than likely. These things always kind of go full circle, don't they? But there's a few people hating on Gazzaniga, and I just think, I don't know what more Gazzaniga can do. I think he made 2 or 3 really important saves. Maybe he can palm it away slightly better, but again, you never expect Casey Palmer to be able to score from the angle he did. It's not like he pushed it back straight into the penalty box. He pushed it out wide. It very nearly went out for a corner, and the player just got a little bit lucky and a bit of good fortune, and it went their way. So 1-1, and you're thinking, maybe Bristol might go on and dominate the rest of this match as the home team. It's very not how it happened. Fulham were really pushing for the winner in the final 10 minutes and had so many good chances. The one where Mitro chests it down, he's inside the penalty box. He's got nowhere near him, and he slashes at it and he puts it wide. And that was the moment for me where I think we all knew the game was up. There were several other chances. There was a really frustrating one where Harry Wilson went one-on-one. He was on a slightly tight angle, but he should have shot and gone back post. He tried to pass it back to Mitrovic, and the Bristol City player intercepted. That was a particularly frustrating one. We hit the bar several times as well in the second half. We came as close as we could to getting the winner, but ultimately we didn't. And this is the situation Fulham now face, 4 points behind Bournemouth, West Brom and Coventry. Where did they come from? 2 points ahead of us. So we're now sitting in fourth in the table. It's still very early to be kind of reading too much into a league table, but if this stretches on a few more games, if Bournemouth make it 6 or 7 points ahead, it's not impossible by any stretch of the imagination. We still got to play Bournemouth twice. And I believe on our day that we will beat some of these top teams, particularly these games against Bournemouth, West Brom, QPR at home. I'm confident that Fulham on their day have more quality than a lot of these teams and will come on top in those encounters. But we're running the risk now. By not winning games that we should be winning, it puts more pressure on those bigger games against the top sides in the league. And I mean, every game is must win. It's a stupid phrase, but Swansea on Wednesday, we need to reverse the slide a bit. As I said, 3 out of the 4 last games, we haven't got a win. A Swansea side that picked up their first win, a 1-0 win over Huddersfield, hardly something to write home about. New manager, a club in a little bit of free fall. So I'm hoping that we can get the 3 points against Swansea. It'll be interesting to see particularly how Matt Grimes plays against us, a player that Fulham were linked with numerous times across the summer. I'm quite shocked that we didn't get him in the end, so I'm hoping Grimes doesn't put in a performance that makes us regret the decision not to sign him and to sign Chalobah instead, but we shall see. And then a really, really difficult game against Coventry in a week's time. And I don't think I'd have said that before the beginning of the season, but Coventry are flying at the moment. They beat Peterborough 3-0. They're picking up some really good results, particularly at home. I think we're going to need a good crowd up there in Coventry, to try and get that result for us. If we can get 6 points out of the next 2 games, I think it's very much game on. Another international break to contend with, and fingers crossed Fulham managed that slightly better than we did last time, particularly that game against Blackpool where we didn't use the rotation that we have available in our squad. So I'm hopeful we'll get back to winning ways against Swansea on Wednesday. On paper, you would say it's a pretty much perfect game for Fulham to be able to do that, but I also would have said that for Reading just over a week ago as well. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the match. There'll be a podcast out later today with more analysis from the Bristol City game, and the Jack and Joe show will be available on YouTube where the boys will react to what happened on Saturday as well. So give the video a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you thought of yesterday's result, you Whites.